Today is Pintober day 9, and I'm going to be doing a recipe today on pumpkin pie cookies. It's a recipe we found on Pinterest, and I thought they looked really good. And everybody likes pumpkin pie, or at least most people like pumpkin pie, or my family does, so we're going to give them a shot. On the recipe, it did say that some people liked it and some people didn't, so we're going to see how it goes. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the list of ingredients you'll need for the cookie dough. You're going to need 1 cup of butter, softened, room temperature, and you're going to need 2/3 a cup of sugar, 2 egg yolks, a teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And what you're going to do is you're going to pour your sugar into your butter, and then you're going to cream it together until it's nice and smooth and all incorporated. Okay, it's all creamed together, so now we're going to add our 2 egg yolks and our vanilla. And we're going to go ahead and get that mixed in really good. Okay, all of this is mixed together well. So we're going to put that to the side for a second. We're going to get our flour, baking powder, and salt and add that into our flour. And you can kind of just give that a little mix around, get it all incorporated. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add the flour, a little, maybe half at a time, to the wet mixture. We're going to go ahead and mix that up. We're going to mix in the other half of the flour mixture a little bit. We're going to get that all mixed in, incorporated really well. Okay, this looks like it's all done. So, take these off and try to get, I'm just going to use my hands, try to get the dough out of the beaters here. And the dough is kind of soft, but it says it's supposed to be in the recipe, maybe even a little bit crumbly, and that's okay. So I'm going to get me a little helper, and I'm going to get these cookie doughs put on the pan. Okay, so we have our cookie dough all ready, and I have my little helper here. And we are going to go ahead and fill our pan up with the cookie dough. Go ahead and start and get that. We have a tablespoon here, and we are just filling it up with the dough, getting it out, rolling it in a ball, and sticking the balls all along, probably about, I don't know, ½ an inch-ish apart from each other. And then when we get done and we get the whole pan full, we'll come back and we'll show you what we're going to do next. Yes, it's a little bit much, yeah. There you go. That's good. Keep rolling. We gotta get it in the oven. Well, in the fridge.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our pan filled up with our cookie dough balls, and the next thing we're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and make a print in the cookies, and our little helper is going to show you how to do that. Go ahead and push down. Push your thumb straight down and straight up. Not all the way to the bottom, because you want to make sure there's cookie on the bottom. And I think actually these are about 1 inch apart because I wanted to give them room to grow in the oven when they're baking. So we're going to go ahead and pinch all these down. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put these in the refrigerator for 15 minutes. And while they're in the refrigerator, we are going to make our filling. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll get to the next. We're going to go ahead and put these in, and we'll get to the next part. Okay, so now we're on to making our filling, and it's just kind of like a smaller version of pumpkin pie filling, and we're going to use it to put in our thumbprints in the cookies, and then after that we will end up baking them. But let's go ahead and get started on this. It's half a cup of pumpkin, a tablespoon, a tablespoon of milk, and inside this bowl is 2.5 tablespoons of regular sugar, a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves, and a pinch of salt. And that all goes in. And then we have a beaten egg, and we're only going to use a tablespoon of that. So that goes in. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to get this mixed up. Okay, so just got the cookie dough out of the refrigerator. They've been in there for about 15 minutes, and we're going to take our filling and put it into the thumbprint. And I'm going to say maybe a little too much, maybe about half a teaspoon or so. Not very much. I don't want to overdo it, so then it won't cook right and sit and stuff. So we're just going to go ahead and fill these up. And then we're going to pop them in the oven. You bake them, it said 12 to 14 minutes on at 350 degrees. And they're supposed to be done at that point. So we'll check them and see after that. So I'm just going to get these filled up and stick them in the oven. So while the cookies are in the oven baking, we're going to go ahead and make the glaze that goes on top. It's just a cup of powdered sugar, just a little splash of vanilla, and start with a tablespoon of milk. And if you need to thin it out more, you can just add a little bit more milk. You don't want it too thin or too thick. It's just to drizzle on top. So I'm going to mix this up and get it ready. It's way too thick, so I'm going to have to add a little more milk. You just don't want to add too much milk because it can get thin really fast. And you'd have to add more powdered sugar and go back and forth. I really don't want to do that. Better. Maybe another little half. I only put half a tablespoon last time. I'll do another half. So that would be 2 tablespoons total so far that I've used. It's much better. Just gotta get the stuff off the bottom. That actually might be pretty. Yeah, that's probably about what you want. About where it's just about like that. So now the glaze is finished. Okay, so the cookies are done. It took about 15 minutes. And what we're going to do, actually how you can tell they're done is they're just kind of browned around the bottom and they're kind of firm, just to kind of touch them, they're just firm. But actually I think they deflated a little bit more than or spread out more than I had anticipated, so it's not as much filling as I thought there'd be on there, so maybe just account for that if you make them. But anyway, so we're going to put them on a dry cooling rack and then let them cool, and then we are going to use the glaze and drizzle it on top. And go ahead and put a parchment paper or wax paper or something underneath your cooling rack, just so that when you do the glaze, you know, when it goes under, it's not getting all over your counter. It'll be easy to clean up. Anyway, we're going to get these off here and let them cool. Okay, so the cookies are out. They've been cooling for about 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the glaze on now. So, and I put the glaze in a baggie, and I'm just going to cut a tiny little hole down here in the bottom. See if that's big enough. And I'm just going to drizzle it on top. Just like that. Not looking very pretty, I guess. Kind of not squeezing it maybe like I should. I tasted the cookie dough earlier and it was really good, so I imagine that these are going to taste yummy. And the filling smells just like pumpkin pie, so I imagine they're going to be really good. And they were really easy, pretty fast. So I'm excited to see how they turned out. Yeah, mine's a little more zigzaggedy than the picture. The pictures actually looked more like those where they were all straight. These other ones are zigzaggedy. Oh well. But anyway, so that's that. And we're just going to let these set for a while, and then we're going to have a taste. Okay, so our cookies are ready to be tasted, and our little helper has volunteered to do that for us. So go ahead and try it and tell me what you think.
They're super good.
You like them? You want Mommy to make them again? Uh-oh. Oh. They're super, super yummy. What do they taste like? Pumpkin pie. Good. So there's our pumpkin pie cookie recipe, and they turned out really great. They're super yummy, and the cookie's almost like a shortbread kind of flavor, but like a lighter texture. But it tastes like, the filling tastes like pumpkin pie. It's really, really good. So I think that we'll be keeping this recipe. I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I just want to say that I'm having a great time doing this Pintober dill and making these videos. It's a lot of fun. And I want to say thank you to Megan and Layla for first telling me about this Pintober dill. And everybody who's subscribed and watched my videos, thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. And I hope you continue to do that and continue to enjoy my videos. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another video.